Welcome back to For Real. Thank you for supporting us by watching our videos. All of the revenue from this channel goes to charities here in Cambodia. The revenue is made by you, our amazing viewers and subscribers, watching the ads that appear on each video. If you're new here, you're welcome to go back and watch some of our older content. We would appreciate it very much, and if you enjoy our videos, it would be great if you could also like and subscribe. In the description of this and every video, you can see how much we've given and who we've given it to. Don't forget, you can join us over on Instagram as well if you'd like. Today's accompanying ride is a continuation of the ride on Silk Island after leaving the Silk Island Silk Museum. Our friends over at Itchy Feet on the Cheap have made a VART about our day over there, so we will leave a link to that in the description below if you'd like to see more of Silk Island. It's time to get started with this week's news. Today is Wednesday the 15th of December 2021, so only one more news moto before Christmas. The Kingdom has continued its ultra-low COVID infection rates, which is great news, but I do have to stress that this was after mass testing was scaled back. The new Omicron variant has been detected in Thailand and was just this morning identified in Cambodia as well. The Cambodian case is a 23-year-old man who had just returned from Africa. It's likely we'll see the government stepping up its campaign for people to receive their booster dose. There are concerns that fears of the Omicron variant in Thailand will drive another mass movement of Cambodians currently residing in Thailand to come back over the border. On a more uplifting note, it does seem that the variant is more flu-like, and vaccinated people are less likely to have a severe illness or need any hospitalisation. This is just an early prediction, and the full study should be available in the coming weeks. So fingers and toes crossed that this is only a small bump in the road. As always, we recommend joining the Cambodia Visa and Work Permit group on Facebook. However, please be sure to read all of the information and resources in the group before asking a question. Things can and do change very quickly in the visa space, so join that group and keep up with the latest. In response to the most pressing questions though, land borders are still closed, visas on arrival have not yet been reinstated. You can arrange a tourist visa online. It will give you 30 days and you can extend this once in country, giving you a total of 60 days. It's not possible to convert a tourist visa to an E-type visa with an extension in country. This option was available for a very short time, but no longer. E-type visas are not available through the online portal unless you're Taiwanese. You can apply for an E-type visa from an embassy or consulate, but you'll have to check with them about what's required in order to do this, as it does vary. Fort insurance is no longer mandatory. The president of the Cambodia Association of Travel Agents said that although there's a lot of interest from tourists, it's difficult for them to get here because, as yet, there are still not many flights coming into the country. She also noted that overseas tourists tend to plan their trip up to 6 months in advance, so the lack of flights and high flight costs are delaying tourists returning. There is some good news though. On Friday the 17th of December, Singapore Airlines and Lanmei Airlines will recommence flights into Siem Reap, so you can now fly direct from Singapore or Bangkok. Domestic flights between Siem Reap and Phnom Penh will also be reinstated. If you want to visit the Kingdom, we highly recommend you doing so as soon as possible before the masses return. The weather at the moment is perfect, so it's a great time for a Christmas vacation. To say that business owners in Siem Reap will be pleased to see you is probably the biggest understatement it's possible to make. Shout out to a couple of fantastic operators that have been open throughout the pandemic. The wonderful Baby Elephant Boutique Hotel, the Little Red Fox Espresso in Kandal Village, Jungle Burger Sports Bar on Sok San, and the restaurants Try Me and Wild, to name just a few. Have you been to any of those businesses? If you have, let us know down in the comments below. When you do return to Cambodia, you will be amazed by the changes in Siem Reap. A Japanese agency is also drafting a master plan for Siem Reap to become Cambodia's first smart city. The plan will focus on smart solutions in 4 areas: tourism, security, mobility, and waste management. It will be interesting to see how this pans out in practice. In the meantime though, Siem Reap is busy with lots of events and festivals. Last week, the first Angkor International Festival of the Arts was held, and next week there will be a festival to showcase traditional Khmer kites created and made by people living in the Bantay Sray district. There will also be traditional music and lots of food stalls. It sounds like a lot of fun. In Phnom Penh now, police have cracked down on sidewalk vendors and traffic violators on Street 271. Authorities have stated that vendors and traffic violators are causing traffic congestion in front of the Khmer Soviet Friendship Hospital. If you've ever been near a hospital in Cambodia, you will know that there is always a large number of food vendors servicing visitors and workers in the hospital. It would be good if a solution other than banning the vendors from trading could be found, because livelihoods are at stake and they're providing a service that's needed. Today in Cambodian crime, the Battle of the Mango Farm ends with the death of a Taiwanese man and 1,400 kilos of narcotics confiscated. Police got wind of drug production at a jam manufacturing company in Kampong Speu province. They stormed into the building, arresting 10 men, and the Taiwanese man was shot dead following a car chase. A massive 1,400 kilos of drugs was confiscated, illustrating the pressing problem of narcotics manufacture in Cambodia. The raid was led by police from the Anti-Drug Department of the Ministry of Interior on December the 12th to crack down on a large-scale drug processing facility in the Kampong Speu province. Check out the links to this story in the comments section to see photos, as the scale of the venture rivals Breaking Bad. That's enough on crime. Let's move on to something that is definitely and only in Cambodia story. The government has established official uniforms for tycoons to wear at national and traditional festivals and other ceremonies. The uniforms are designed for men and women and include a brooch, necklace, belt, shirt with epaulets, pants or skirt, and shoes. Anyone who disguises themselves as a tycoon by wearing the uniform will face legal action. One tycoon said that the uniform is so nice and similar to the uniforms of government officials when they have to come to have an audience with the king in the royal palace. I really love this uniform because I've dreamt of having a uniform like this before the sub-decree was made official and publicly announced. Now my dream has come true, he said. It is hoped that this uniform will motivate all tycoons to be more active to join with the government to build the country's economy. The tycoon's uniform must be bought or tailored according to the sample in the sub-decree. Tycoons must pay to have a uniform made by themselves because they have a lot of money. Now to cars behaving badly. In Phnom Penh's Sensok area, a Toyota Highlander SUV took an impromptu flight into a noodle cart. The driver of the SUV was driving from south to north at a flying speed and hit a bush in a road divider, which caused him to flip into the air and end up on top of the fried noodle cart, to the bemusement and surprise of the diners that were there. Fortunately, no one was injured, and local authorities arrived at the scene, arrested the owner of the car, and handed over the car to the competent authorities to deal with the legal procedures. It is hoped that the diners were able to salvage their dinner of noodles, which local media reports as delicious. And finally, as we move into Oscar season, the launch of the dramatic retelling of Prime Minister Hun Sen's life took place yesterday. It's called The Sun Under the Full Moon, and it will be sold to television channels so that it can be publicly broadcast to the Cambodian audience. The story details the struggles of the Prime Minister's life from being a pagoda boy to becoming the Prime Minister, and especially focuses on his struggles to find peace for the Cambodian people. I really hope it's available with subtitles very soon. That brings us to the end of this week's news. You're now up to date with all of the most important events in the kingdom. Thank you so much for watching. Links to all of the stories mentioned will be in the pinned comment as usual, and the description of this video contains links to other channels that are making content about Cambodia, so be sure to check those out if you're interested in seeing more great content. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you in our next video.
That car was there. I put my balaclava thing on and spray up. I got the spray sun cream too. It's good I can see what they do. I can see where they go, and it's like, oh, okay, I go to the other side.